I don't know where you keep coming up with this 2-hour parking.
I saw 2 signs. Dude, you need me to show you a picture of that?
No.
Like,
Are you pranking me right now, or are you really serious?
I get the impression you don't realize how bad the streets are and the parking is. Then you're not really.
Sheriff's Office, Deputy Peterson, this line is recorded. How may I help you? Let D3 know that the 13th op from the other night with the vest on, the guy that follows us around, he's back. Yeah, it's the same guy from the other night. They'll know who it is. Okay. Yeah, there's been all kind of bulletins on this dude. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to Open Government Investigations. On November 2, 2021, traveler, YouTuber, and urban camper Travis Hines entered City Hall in Bethany, Missouri to inquire about the parking situation in the area. Travis Hines is well known for his Let's Exchange Information videos on his YouTube channel, tastefully named, Let's Exchange IDs with Travis Hines.
Well, yeah, I'm having difficulty with the parking.
What do you mean with the parking?
Where's the sections for the 2 hours? Because I'm a little confused. I was going to choose some spots around the library. I want to go to the library, but there's these 2-hour parking spots. And does anybody ever have problems with parking around here?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel very unique in that matter because I'm really
confused.
Can you direct me to the person I need to talk to about the parking situation?
Well, if you have a problem with the parking situation...
Yeah, because I don't know. Cause I'm parked right in front of City Hall.
I can tell you...
Is that a problem with the 2-hour parking in front of City Hall?
I don't know where you keep coming up with this 2-hour parking.
I saw 2 signs. Dude, you need me to show you a picture of that?
No.
Like,
are you pranking me right now, or are you really serious?
I get the impression you don't realize how bad the streets are and the parking is. Then you're not really.
Here we can see that Mr. Hines has voiced his concerns about 2 parking signs near the library, and for some reason, after several minutes of dialogue, a City Hall employee called the Harrison County Sheriff's Office.
I mean, the parking's a lot better up north in those cities that I've been to. I guess I got called, or you guys are just here for me?
Yeah, we're here for you.
Okay, all right.
I'm not
you want to
sure
direct?
If he's pranking me, if he's pulling my leg, or if there's something wrong. He's very concerned about the parking. And we're gonna get a photo. We've got a GoPro on our chest, so we're obviously recording.
Why don't you have a seat right here?
Have a seat?
Yeah.
We're
gonna go talk to them in the back and find out what's going on.
All right. Well, all right, yeah, because you didn't hear the conversation,
No,
so.
no, but we'll talk to you too. So.
All right. Well, I'm the one that they called the cops on. I guess they buzzed the cops on, and I parked right out here, and I was asking about the parking situation. Apparently, we can park across the street. Because I mean, you know about the 2-hour signs, right? The 2-hour limits. Are you blocking me from exiting?
I'm trying to figure out why I'm being called.
Okay, well, I guess you want to talk to, yeah, all right, fine.
Have a seat for me.
You want to talk to the...
Have a seat for me.
What's the problem? What's the crime?
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Have a seat
Well,
for me.
I've been sitting in my car for all morning. I just want to...
Okay.
I mean, I'll move over if you're afraid I'm going to escape. I mean, it might be...
Deputy Harris has now ordered Mr. Hines to take a seat after having blocked his attempt to exit the building. When Mr. Hines asks if he is being detained, Deputy Harris insists that he is not. If an individual is detained by a law enforcement officer, they have been seized according to the Fourth Amendment. Whether or not an individual is considered to be legally or illegally detained, is not always a black and white situation. In the widely known 1968 case of Terry v. Ohio, the Supreme Court explained that not all interactions between law enforcement and citizens involve the seizure of a person. It is only when the officer, by means of physical force or a show of authority, has in some way restrained the liberty of a citizen, may we conclude that a seizure has occurred. The Supreme Court further clarified this standard by adding the Mendenhall test, named after the case in which it was first introduced. There are several considerations involved in determining if an individual has been seized, and in the 1991 case of California v. Hodari D, The court explained that the Mendenhall test established that a person has been lawfully seized, within the meaning of the Fourth Amendment, only if in view of all the circumstances surrounding the incident, when a reasonable person would have believed that he was not free to leave, and that the test for the existence of a show of authority is an objective one, and not whether the citizen perceived that he was being ordered to restrict his movement, but whether the officer's words and actions would have been conveyed by a reasonable person.
You're not being detained.
What's yeah, these guys talk to him. What's the deal?
We're just trying to figure out what your concern is.
Okay, so she gave her side, and you got a full scope of what she said.
No, I'm asking you what your concern is. What are
No, are you satisfied with her story, I guess?
I guess, yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, so you understand where she's coming from, and my side is I'm interested in finding a good parking spot.
Okay. There's 2 lots right here if you're looking for on-square.
Yeah, and if we could walk out there, I mean, I'll show you where I'm parked.
But where were you parked?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Just show me right here.
Am I being detained for a crime?
We're trying to figure out what's
Well,
going
then
on.
it'd probably be easier to like point from the closer area to this parking where I'm at and where I can park outside. You guys prefer to talk inside?
Yeah, it's cold outside.
Cold outside.
Oh, it's because okay, well that's reasonable.
We're not sure what your concern is.
This is a 2-hour parking. I'll get a ticket for 2-hour parking. You know what?
Get a ticket for 2-hour parking.
Okay, so I guess I didn't ask the question directly. Will I get a ticket for parking longer than 2 hours? The answer is no. Okay, well then that settles it.
All right.
Do you have
Hey,
your
what-
driver's license on your
What's
driver's license?
what is it?
So I can identify you. Make sure you don't have any warrants.
Well, I mean, first we have to establish a crime.
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's
Making contact with you is good enough.
Yeah, that's fine, and you can make contact.
Hey, I've been called here to make
Harris?
contact with you.
Okay.
It's Officer Harris.
Well, who's the caller?
If you're failing, they are.
Well, no, they were the buzzer. They buzzed,
if
right?
you are failing to identify yourself to me and not give me your ID,
Yeah.
I will take you to jail.
Individuals may only be legally required to identify themselves to law enforcement if there is reasonable suspicion of criminal activity, and the state has enacted a stop and identify statute that requires individuals to identify themselves during these situations. Citizens cannot be required to identify themselves simply because an officer makes contact with them. Even in states that have passed stop and identify laws, and only certain stop and identify laws, authorize a law enforcement officer to arrest an individual for refusing to identify themselves. As the Supreme Court explained in the 2004 case of Hiibel v. 6th Judicial District Court of Nevada, Humboldt County, in some states a suspect's refusal to identify himself is a misdemeanor offense or civil violation and is a factor to be considered in whether a suspect has violated loitering laws. Missouri passed a stop and identified law, Section 84-710 of the Missouri Revised Statutes, and simply states that police officers have the power to stop any person abroad, whenever there is reasonable ground to suspect that he is committing, has committed, or is about to commit a crime. They can then demand of them their name, address, business abroad, and where they are going. It does not, however, place a legal obligation on an individual to comply with the law enforcement officer's demand for identification. Even though Deputy Harris had reasonable suspicion that Travis was involved in criminal activity, under Missouri's law, Travis had a right to decline to identify himself without penalty. It is important to note that in certain circumstances, a 911 call can provide enough evidence to support detaining and identifying an individual in a state that requires citizens to comply with an officer's identification demands when that officer has reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. In the 2014 case of Navarette v. California, the court firmly rejected the argument that reasonable cause for an investigative stop can only be based on the officer's personal observation, rather than on information supplied by another person. They also argued that a 911 call can be sufficient to create reasonable suspicion, but only as long as the call shows adequate indication of reliability for the officer to credit the caller's account of the alleged situation.
Oh, you wanna charge me with a crime?
No,
If you don't identify yourself,
we want to identify you.
Well, I don't.
Where's your
I'm sorry, but I have to enforce my Fourth Amendment rights. So
Okay. Well,
I don't understand.
you have the right to
If you
identify
think
yourself to me.
if you
so
think
where's your ID?
if you think your prosecutor's gonna back you up on that, they want to follow through on this charge. We'll see how those arguments go.
Yeah.
They tend not to go too well in your favor.
Okay.
Just doing this.
Well,
What, a charge of what?
Do you not want to give me your driver's license?
Well, do you want to give me your driver's license?
I don't have to give you my driver's
Well,
license.
I don't understand why you can't
Because
give me.
I'm making contact with you.
I'm making contact with you.
I'm going to run
And
make
these
sure
two.
There's no warrants.
Are you asking ID
Sir,
for your own curiosity,
no,
or for the betterment of the?
We were called over here because there was someone that was irate.
If you want raw, unedited, spicy content, be sure to check out the Open Government Investigations OnlyFans account. Sign up, and you'll have access to exclusive videos and content that YouTube or Facebook have deemed too spicy for their platforms. We hope to see you there.
Irate,
City Hall.
okay.
The reason we're asking for your ID is because a crime has been committed. We're not
Oh.
trying to charge you with one.
Well, if you think you want to follow through on charging me with a crime, I mean, see what your prosecutor, your city prosecutor would want to, go through.
So here's the question is, why don't you identify yourself? We'll all move on.
Well, why don't we establish the crime? And we got a Fourth Amendment here. We got to get through here. All right. And I mean, there's steps to take with that. If you want to fully charge me with a crime, then I guess you'll have to arrest me, and follow through on that.
Sheriff Place has now claimed that Mr. Hines has allegedly committed a crime because they received reports that he was acting irate. Sheriff Place does not specify which crime Mr. Hines has committed, and there are some circumstances where being irate could rise to the level of a crime, but this situation did not reach that level of expectation under the law. 574.010 of the Missouri Revised Statute states that a person commits the offense of peace disturbance if he or she unreasonably, and knowingly, disturbs or alarms another person, or persons, by loud noise, offensive language addressed in a face-to-face manner to a specific individual, threatening to commit a felonious act against any person, fighting or creating a nuisance or offensive odor. I suppose passing gas could result in an arrest for disturbing the peace under this statute. It is possible that the City Hall employees were alarmed by Mr. Hines' behavior. At no time did he create any loud noises, he never used offensive language, and he never made any threats or attempted to fight. The employee's alarm could be viewed as more reasonable under Section 565.090, which defines the offense of harassment in the second degree. An individual commits this crime if, he or she, without good cause, engages in any act with the purpose to cause emotional distress to another person. Section 565.090 defines harassment in the first degree as engaging in the same behavior, and actually causing the person to suffer emotional distress. However, there is absolutely no evidence that Mr. Hines instigated this interaction with the purpose of distressing them. Even if it could be argued that his behavior was meant to cause emotional distress, Mr. Hines is clearly within his First Amendment rights to complain about the parking situation that he witnesses throughout the town of Bethany, Missouri.
If you think that's what your city prosecutor is going to support you on, I mean, this is a contact thing. I was just asking about parking. This would be laughed out of court, Harris. But if you want to follow through,
Yeah. Are you failing to give me your ID?
Are you failing to give me your ID?
Are you failing to give me your ID?
Okay, I'm willing to exchange IDs.
Face the wall.
All right.
Put your phone down.
All right.
Put your phone down.
After Mr. Hines refused to give his ID to Deputy Harris, he was placed under arrest. Mr. Hines was held in the county jail overnight and was charged with second-degree harassment and peace disturbance. The charges were later dropped as there were no merits to the charges. Thank you for watching this video. Please make sure you comment down below with your opinion on the situation. If you're watching this on Facebook, please feel free to use a reaction to the video and make sure you're following our page. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit the like or dislike button, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Thank you.